The new My Hero Academia chapter hints at the return of the hero All Might, without a quirk but possibly with a new hero technology. It is possible that he has a suitcase with a suit like Iron Man, which he will use to fight one last time in the last war of My Hero Academia, probably fulfilling Sir Night's prophecy that he will die if he continues to participate in this war. It is possible that he already used the suitcase with which he could defeat two villains all by himself, but we haven't seen how it works, and now he has this suitcase in his hand again and leaves the headquarters. Could it be a hero costume that uses the Hercules technology to protect him from harm, while using the gauntlet technology from America to support his weak body with a technology that gives him power? Similar to how Bakugo's explosions, for example, give him speed and strength. Let's talk about it. If you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. Please enjoy this video. Let's go! The new My Hero Academia chapter 378 begins at the headquarters where the police try to hack into Skeptic's system with the help of La Brava. She says that all this reminds her of her past when she hacked into the service of the Feel Good Corporation just to test her skills. Then we see a flashback of Skeptic, who was working for this company at the time. Back in the present, he realized that La Brava was the one who hacked in the system back then and freaks out. La Brava is slowly taking over everything and has even figured out his whereabouts. So he tries to escape by using his quirk to turn the main computers into humanoids to make sure she's unable to access the UA evacuation system. And as far as we can tell from the panels, he's successful with it for now. The police know that despite the restoration of the system, UA is still falling and will arrive on the ground in a few minutes. La Brava says that the damage is too great and that she still needs to create a new system that will work with the remaining parts, but she won't make it in time. The scene then cuts to the flying UA island where Deku remembers Tamura's words from the last war, that not understanding each other is what makes them heroes and villains, symbolizing once again what is often implied in this final My Hero Academia saga, that there is a very thin line between heroes and villains. Sometimes all that is needed is communication and understanding. We are reminded of this because Deku tries to save Shigaraki, but in order to do so, they must first understand each other in order to talk about this issue. I still believe that this is only possible in the shared realm of One for All and All for One, because that's where Tenku Shimura's true personality can be exposed. Mandalay warns everyone that the UA island is falling, and so everyone leaves their positions and begin to flee. But this is the moment when the twice clones scattered throughout the battlefields really show what impact they have on this war. Since they are just clones, they don't care if they fall into their deaths, as long as the main body, which is Toga, who is currently at the battlefield with All for One, stays intact. And so all the twice clones make the escape from the island difficult. They sacrifice themselves so they can take the heroes down with them. The US jets that help Deku arrive in time are thinking about firing lasers, but are afraid of hitting their allies, and that their jets might get hacked. At that moment, Gentle suddenly appears to save the day and repay his debt. At the same time, Skeptic was found and cornered by a group of heroes, so everything works out perfectly. Gentle just has to support the UA island until La Brava manages to get the system working again. Then we see a flashback of the Mikuzu prison about a month and a half ago that was destroyed by the Tartarus escapees. Everyone is getting ready to do all sorts of evil things with the exception of one person who was also imprisoned in that prison, Gentle. He stands in front of all the other prisoners and asks them if they really want to go that path. He admits his mistakes and is willing to change and atone for his sins in the past. Therefore, he can't just stand by and let the prisoners do whatever they want, so he can't just let them escape. The prisoners start to attack him, but he managed to defeat each of them. He didn't escape the prison, but instead waited for the police. When the police arrived and asked him what he wanted in return, Gentle said he wanted to meet La Brava because their love has grown even stronger because of their separation. Cut to the present and we see that Gentle has managed to hold the entire UA island. The fight against Shigaraki continues, and just before Shigaraki could touch the ground and finally use his quirk, probably the decay quirk, his hand was suddenly shot by none other than Lady Nagant, who is standing on the roof of a building with her rifle, aiming at the UA island. End of chapter. But there's something else we need to talk about. At the end of the chapter, we see a small panel that shows All Might leaving the building carrying a suitcase. But what does this mean? What is All Might up to and what is in that suitcase? At the beginning of the final act, we saw Deku thanking All Might for the mid-gauntlet compression support items that he ordered from America. During Deku's solo time, All Might always insisted on supporting him. He even used the supercar to keep up with Deku's speed. And this car is not just a normal car. All Might confirmed that the special car called Hercules is built to withstand any damage. For example, any normal car will be blown to pieces if hit by explosives, but Hercules has not received a single scratch. When he was forced out of the car by two villains, he jumped out with a suitcase in his hand. The villains made fun of him because he lost his quirk and is no longer who he once was. Obviously, it shouldn't be a problem for them to defeat him in this state. But before they could attack him, All Might suddenly launched his attack. Unfortunately, we didn't see how he managed to defeat these two villains, but it is clear that he must have used this suitcase. How else could he have done that? We even saw the fear written on their faces. The fact that he is now holding this suitcase again and leaving the headquarters could be a hint that with the technology he received from America, in combination with the armor protection of the Hercules car, he had a kind of Iron Man suit made with which he can fight one last time. Honestly, I would love that, you know, with the jets on his back and lasers or something like that. Maybe even something mechanical that he can generate some kind of power with. Maybe even like Bakugo with explosions. Although All Might is weak, he has experience on the battlefield. He is skilled with coordination and combat. All he lacks is a strong body. The reason this is likely is because the return of All Might has been hinted at many times in this final arc. Even before that, in this arc however, it is very clear. We have seen how depressed he was when he dreamed of fighting side by side one last time in this final war. We saw how everyone started to believe that he was becoming basically useless, even if they didn't say it to his face. Just remember how Deku treated All Might. But the biggest clue is Sir Night Eye's prophecy that All Might will die if he doesn't stop interfering in this war against All for One. In most cases, his prophecies have proven to be correct. It hasn't happened yet because All Might stayed away from the battlefield. But if he returns now with an Iron Man suit, then it's almost 100% confirmed that he will die, and I think the prophecy itself was a foreshadowing that All Might would return. So what do you think of this theory and new My Hero Academia chapter? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this Boku no Hero Academia chapter review, then please leave a like, and if you want to see more My Hero Academia content, then subscribe to this channel with the notification bell activated. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!